Hello. Hi. Hi there. My name is Chris Farah. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I am late to talk about the TV that we have been watching. She's getting her she's getting my UGG cardies off and getting my notes out. My God, yes, honeys, it's Thursday. So thank you so much for being a little flexy flex with the Scooge. Obviously, this chit chat usually happens on Tuesday at 2, but we, for the past 2 Thursdays, have done it on Thursdays. A, because last week was my birthday, and I wanted it to have a birthday live because it was on Thursday. And this week, I also wanted to wait so we could have watched the Love is Blind reunion, which I thought was incredibly important, which I was right about because I'm always right. Hi guys. Thank you so much for coming in. Hi. Hello. How are you? Come in, like the video immediately. Just say hi, like it, turn on the lamp of the room, which is a thumbs up, thumbs down, probably a thumbs up. Let's just talk about it. So yeah, Love is Blind reunion on the docket, 90 Day Fiance season 10, and 90 Day Fiance single life. And I'll tell you this right now, your girl, me, does a podcast. Have you heard Docu Sweeties? And so we are sometimes privy to some early drops. So maybe or maybe not me, hi me, maybe or maybe not, I've been able to watch both the Happily Ever After new season premiere with the cast that we know to be a gang of fools. Chain of Fools, probably Chain of Fools. It's like the Angela Michael, it's Mahmoud Nicole, it's Emily Kobe, it's Jasmine Gino, it's Sophie Robb. It's like just anyway. But then I also got to watch the Single Life Tell All, and it's really fun. It's really good. So interesting. My Loves is out in the universe, which is still the last tell all for season 10. But if I was to be honest, both part 1 and part 2 of season 10 90 Day Fiance, regular 90 Day Fiance tell alls were not special to me. I found it to be lackluster. And it's so funny because I will say, if there's a production difference, like between these 2 seasons, it's palpable in this tell-all. Like the last tell-all, it was so weird, like such boring couples that we forgot about, like Nick and Devin. And so they're fine, but like they, like all they could do is talk about Piggy, and like Sam and Citra, like are, I mean, just, right there. And Annalie and Clayton, kind of same. It was like 3 really boring people, and then Jasmine and Nikki, who are like, we have to do everything. And then Sean, who felt like she could not wait to be not there and jumped out of her skin. Hi, listening, but elbows deep in work. Oh yeah, Thanksgiving, Jesus Christ. Happy Thursday, everyone. Yeah, no, I get it. It's definitely a work time. It's not a work time. Hello, it's good to see you and Wa together. I miss that so much. How's Wa's puppy? Wa's puppy lives back in LA with Wa's dad. I think that Charlie's doing good though. Hair is looking very nice. Thank you. Why I hate that I said it that way, soul child. Thank you. I'm a woman. A grown woman. I don't have to say it like that. Thank you so much. Dealing with fur baby not feeling well. I'm so sorry. She had, oh my God, oh poor baby boo, 4 teeth pulled, very, very expensive. Oh yeah, do you have insurance? I just got my teeth. I just got my teeth. I just got a filling, is what I wanted to say, and a wisdom tooth. Remember my dentist things? Oh my God. Do you guys remember my wisdom teeth debacle? There's, I don't know if anyone remembers this from what feels like at least 2 years ago, but Hey, I love you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much. And thumbs up this video if you haven't yet. I really need like more engagement. Like truly just been losing followers left and right. And I know it, but like there is no gain and like no one I feel like even knows I'm like live streaming. But moving on from that, if you remember from a couple of years ago, I was gonna have my wisdom teeth removed, and then I went back and forth whether I should. Some people were like, "You don't even have to, like it's a thing, like just leave them in there." Some people were like, "Yeah," like told me my the holes in your mouth and your face is gonna change and like all of the stuff. But every time I would go to a dentist, they would just be like, "Yeah, get them out. You should get them out. Might as well get them out." And so, but they were kind of like weird dentists. I felt like I kept going to like money making dentistry. I don't know why. I just felt like I went to a couple of different, okay. I had a great dentist. She left. And then in Orange County, in Orange County, I just jumped around and they were all kind of like, yeah, money making ventures. So then I ended up going to my dad's dentist and he was like, "Yeah, why take him out? Just gonna this one you need a filling." I was like, "Oh, okay." So they're in. That's the point of that story. But and they are in for the time being, and I don't mind taking them out at some point, but that does give me some pause. So moving on, I also got an iron transfusion. I'm excited about that. For the LA peeps, we're going to Podcast Movement, which is a podcast convention. So all of us are going to be there, honey. It's Reality Gaze, it's Pink Shade, it's me. Sorry, it's Docu Sweeties. I was going to say me and Wah and Docu Sweeties, but then I just said me first. It sounds horrible. I'm an only child. I should have said Wahama and I and Docu Sweeties, but you can see my true nature now. And I think Ryan, maybe I can't. I'm like saying this out loud. I'm like, is Ryan Bailey going to be there? I'm not quite sure. Okay, Casey's gonna be there. I said that already. So there'll be a lot of like fun situations at the end of March, which I'm excited about. And then yeah, so let's get into this. So I want to know like what first of all, what are you most excited to talk about? 90 Day Fiance or Love is Blind? You know? Which one is it? For me, Love is Blind. Because season 10, obviously I'm over. Single life, I don't mind talking about, but I think we should start from the top. So the Love is Blind reunion, my God. They addressed some of the controversy in huge ways, and then they definitely didn't touch on other things. And I feel like the Love is Blind peeps are very cognizant of what's out there in the zeitgeist. And by that, I mean they want to play against negative publicity that they have been sued by multiple contestants over seasons for supplying them with alcohol and like being, you know, contrived and or nefarious is my favorite word to use. Malevolent is also, I don't know, like it's some sort of like negativity or just like some sort of like criminal intent, of using people for gain in a very like shameless way. So this entire reunion is about like, yeah, people come back and it's a whole family, and now you go on this, and now you become casting, and maybe even go on Perfect Match. It's like so funny. Like the people that they had, it was the first time they did it tell all, just like we know 90 Day plays around 90 Day plays around with the idea of a tell-all, bringing back other people from either other seasons or whatever. We've done that. Now, they didn't do that for season 10, but they've done that before. It's interesting. In the Bravo world, I can't like you. I mean, I just can't imagine having like a reunion with the cast of a certain city and then having like another couch. Thank you. With the cast of a different city or the other like a peanut gallery plucked of different cities. Like if you were watching the Beverly Hills, I think is happening right now, Real Housewives Beverly Hills. Wouldn't it be crazy if they're like, let's go to their special couch with commentators Teresa Giudice, Larsa Pippen, like I don't know, Tamara, you're just like, and then they're going to talk about this season and what they saw. What's so funny is that 90 Day Fiance and Love is Blind want you to think that their people watch everyone else. Now, Bravo housewives don't need to watch other seasons, although they do because they are like there's cross friends and it's a whole network, but it's you've never seen that on a tell-all, and I wonder why. Like, because it shows favoritism, how would they pick? Anyway, so Nick and Vanessa have been also reading maybe commentary about what's happening, what people think of the contestants on the show this season, as well as how they come off as hosts. And so I will tell you, they are very engaged, very fun. The only, but funner, I will say for them specifically, they try and have like a little cute opening where they are in a pod. For some reason, throughout the tell-all, Vanessa's like earpiece seems like it's too low. Honey, she's constantly like, "What'd she say? What'd she say?" I'm just like, so funny. Can you cut out the what you say and just like and just have her know? I don't know why. Is it a thing of like having us hear it again because it was so important? I just thought, do you notice that? Anyway. But yeah, here we are. Oh God, Lord. Let me put this on the do not disturb. By the way, in where I am right now, the Santa Ana winds are just taking over. I might be blown away at any time. If you never see me again, it's because of Santa Ana winds. So we do have the dais of like Brad and Tiffany are there. There's a bunch of other people. Micah's there for some reason. We're like, okay, like Micah's with some person. We're like, are you guys together? We have no idea. Like, it's weird. There's a bunch of other people, but let's talk about it. So I love Jessica's dress. Looks like Jessica. I'm sorry. I love Amy's dress. It looks like Jessica Rabbit. Didn't she look? She looked gorgeous. I mean, geez. My goodness gracious, honey. Like, what a catch. Sarah Ann comes, honey, in like what looks like her like Lizzie McGuire finest. I mean, it's revealed that Sarah Ann and Jeremy have been together kind of on and off this entire time. When Chelsea like is like, every time I see you, Jeremy, you guys are off. And then he's like, yeah, but what right now we're living together. So have her living with me, Hi, Renee. Hi. My birthday was beautiful. My birthday. Oh, thank you. My hair looks beautiful. My birthday was beautiful as well. Yeah, my teeth are all out. Hi, Amy. Okay, so basically they go into that like shared location drama with Laura and Sarah and Jeremy, and the best thing that happens are the looks that people give Jessica and AD specifically. Sarah Ann, when Sarah Ann tries to, it's funny, like it's a weird situation. I'll tell you this. They're all on a show, and the show has moved in such a way where you have to be open to love or whatnot. The semantics of how Sarah Ann did what she did was definitely not girl's girl, and it definitely wasn't like graceful. She made an aggressive move. Now, she could have easily just sat back on her laurels and been like, I was in love. I was in love. Laura, at the end of the day, I don't know you. And am in love with him. And that's why we're together. So you all can say what you can say, but I had to send that DM when I got out because I can't stop thinking of him. I'm in love with him. You're not. So at the end of the day, what? I'm the one proving that love is blind. I met this man in a pod and we were the real couple. I'm sorry. Like, isn't it so funny? Like, if that is how Sarah Ann did it, even with the glitter, all of the shimmer glitter, and like whatever kind of like early aughts hairstyle and like clothing, it would have, I think, not given anyone a like leg to stand on. But because she tried to defend herself back and forth, and because she tried to keep like changing stories of like being sad or being like whatever and blaming him or whatever and coming to Laura in that conversation, like because it was back and forth and because of the DM and because she like tried to deny her obvious feelings and because they ended up talking and because it was so messy, it's so interesting. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Jeremy, for some reason, did not have to talk that much. Sarah Ann continued to do the most the entire time. And that's why, unfortunately, she does look like a pygmy. No, for sure, for sure. But the funny thing is, again, it's just in like how you frame it and how you expose what you expose about yourself and how you it's like, what are you saying? What are you defending? You know what I'm trying to say? Anyway, so um this little part about Jeremy coming out as like a bad guy by like saying that Jimmy looked like a villain and like Jimmy then having some sort of feeling about that. That was really weird. Okay, so then we get into my God, Trevor. Trevor comes out. It's so weird. He still has a rash. I still, God bless. And then Nick and Vanessa like read back his text between him and his girlfriend that can be found on TikTok, which is basically him being like, "Hey, I'm going in there, but like, just know I love you so much." And he's out, and he's like, "Hey, I couldn't wait to get out." Like, "Oh my God." She's like, "I'm crying. Oh my God." Like, God bless. And he's like, "I never, I just love you so much." Blah blah blah. So he comes out, and they're like, "Well, Trevor, what do you have to say for himself?" And then there's the longest pause, and he doesn't say anything. Doesn't really say. And he's like, "No, I went in with the best intentions. I know that I did this, but she really wasn't one exclusive. Yeah, I said I loved her, but like we were like boyfriend girlfriend. I wanted to see if this was gonna be like a situation I was open to, like meeting a different type of woman. I wanted so badly to be like, what type of woman is she, and what type of woman do you would be different from that? That would have been a great question, but then he just like clamps up. He's like, "Can I leave?" When he said, "Can I leave?" I was like, "Can I leave? Can I leave? What is this? What do you like? Is this a boarding school? Is this like a male boarding school? Am I like a chaplain? Are you like gonna go back to your dormitory? Is there like, I don't know, a rugby? I don't know, like a game match later you have to like get prepared for? Can I don't know. Just on I tell it like I'm just so funny. Like, where is he going? Yeah. I don't know. Makes me feel like other things had happened between him and the cast. Like he in the sense where he knew that he had walked into where like no one liked him. One thing about this cast, it sure feels clicky, doesn't it? Especially amongst the girls. It's Click Fest 2009. Um, I said the specific time because that's like a lot of their like clothes look like that time. AD and Clay. She's like, yeah, he called me. And so, like, we went out or whatever. Clay, the entire time, looks crazy. Half the time, his eyes are like, and the other times, he starts sitting like he is honey, like at a military school. Like, he, at one point, sits up in this. I can't do it. Like, he sits up, whatever, like on the couch so strongly, so well, like as if someone's about to like, hit him with a ruler, honey. I mean, like he looks like he's like, like been made to like think about that. I've like the expansion anyway, but he also just feels like he's just like preparing for the worst. He's one thing about Clay is that I think truly, and it's fine, Clay did not love AD enough to want to marry her. I know that we're supposed to believe that he just couldn't get his shit together enough to, but I think that if you love someone, you are afraid this person will leave you, you'll try the most to make this person not leave you. And Clay didn't. And his conversations after with his parents were telling that he was back and forth. You're not back and forth like, and I think when you're with someone you love. Like that. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I feel like Clay wants to come off as a good guy and wants to be like the victim and needs to go through therapy and has bopped around. And, I think that he's not a bad guy. he's just a broken guy, and it's hard to say, AD, at the end of the day, like, I think that we're soulmate best friends. I don't know why, other than my heart tells me you deserve a deeper love than the one I can give you. That's the thing. Ooh, Amy. I think Clay was too sure AD would stay with him. I agree. And by the way, I think God's grace is that AD doesn't have to. And he can like find better. Sorry. Oh, there. Okay. So, he has a beautiful moment though with Brett, of Tiffany and Brett, from the season 2 seasons before, where he says that he had watched Brett navigate a season, and the way he like expressed himself and the maturity like made him feel like a certain type of way, which is incredibly proud, but also like stacking up against that he needed maybe like more work to be done. And then Brett really like took that in and also expressed like having come from a really confusing home when it comes to some of the foundational aspects of what love and marriage can be and should be, in a respectful way and healthy way, which, by the way, who doesn't? By the way, I get that. I mean, I am a child from divorce. I think about this sometimes. Okay, well, first of all, look at this. I mean, I'm a child of divorced parents. I don't know if you know that. Hi. And all of my parents are divorced. Like right now, they're divorced people. My dad's been divorced twice. My mom, from what I assume, had been divorced 3 times. All of our marriages 7 years. So in no capacity am I aware of what a functional marriage in a healthy and respectful way takes, or what it looks like at all. You know what? I've also never wondered whether me sharing that I'm a divorced child from whatever, I wonder how off-putting that is to like potential romantic partners. I wonder if it really makes them feel like I have no map to even follow. And you know what? It's like, can you hear this, by the way? And there would be wrong. If you hear this, it is like a full storm outside. It's a Santa Ana storm. Hi, just listening to make the kiddos dinner. What are you making? Okay, so okay, so then we get into a little thing with Vanessa, I just get Vanessa needs her earpiece up, which I already said that already. Micah asks Jimmy about sex secret. So, Micah gets into asking Jimmy how he felt about Chelsea sharing that Jimmy had, you know, had a sexual relay with one of the women that came to that like little like group powwow friend thing, even though we know which one it was, the brown haired one. So basically, he's like, "Yeah, no, I said it then and I'll say it now. It's not me. This person, that's her life. She came on. She did not know that part of her life was going to be shared. I said it in secret and you used it back. And then you kind of fell back on your laurels in defensiveness, like you should be able to say whatever you want because it's your feelings. But at the same time, I mean, it's like it's a shitty situation because it's like she's like, "I didn't even know I forgot that I was on TV." And it's like, yeah, but it's like she gave such main character energy. Chelsea did acknowledge that how insecure she was. So, good job for her. And Chelsea and Jimmy are sitting next to each other. Chelsea feels like she has a good relationship with Jessica. They like met up and they feel good. Now, Jessica and Jimmy whole situation differently. She felt like they had left on good terms, but then he had done some weird interview and I didn't read the interview. So the points that she felt like she had contention with was, I guess he was asked why Chelsea, not Jessica. And he answered because he had gone to like a date with Jessica and she had stormed off 10 minutes into the date. And she was like, 10 minutes into the day. You think I stormed off 10 minutes into the day? Bitch, it was an hour and a half. He's like, I'll give you 45 at best, but it's 10. So they're like, receipts, honey. And these receipts come, and Jimmy's dumb. It's almost the exact hour and 30 minutes. I mean, Jimmy's dumb. Jimmy's dumb. You know what it is? Jimmy's dumb. Okay, no, let me just go back. Okay, let me give him some grace. We all have ways in which we have our like intelligence and our smartness. Like there's street smarts and there's book smarts. Sure, that's one. There's someone who's incredibly intelligent with computers, right? Or that's like a big or tech. There's someone who there's a lot of people that are like master manipulators or good at, like reading comprehension. There are people that are very good talkers. Or there's so many different things that people could be good at. I'm not exactly sure where Jimmy's genius lies, but he definitely, like, he either gets a lot of fear when it comes to expressing himself, how he'll be taken, or he doesn't know how to say things, or he has really dumb thoughts and he just like knows it's going to come out bad. So he falters, or where he just won't communicate. If he like is avoidant or whatever, and it like gets him called out on. Because for some reason, I think that for Jimmy, he was like, oh, with Jessica, she was just a little too ball busty. I think that she was just, or, I think she was a little too brassy. I think that she was combative sometimes. I thought that maybe she would fight with me a lot. And I just thought it might be an easier life with Giggly Gee over there. But I didn't know that, how sad and insecure she was. Maybe not all of that, but like, you know what I'm saying? I made salad with avocado and carrot ginger dressing for me, and PB and J for them. They don't eat normal food. Yeah, that makes sense. No avocado salad for them. Ha ha ha. So actually, I think the overall thing was 2 hours and 21 minutes. That's so funny. Zach and oh, what's that girl's name? It's a crazy name. It's like a word. Zach and the other one's having a baby. Two people are having babies, and one of them is like, we're having a baby girl. And the other one's like, we're going to not gender our baby now. Which I thought was like a little funny. One of the best parts of the night was having this like AD watch Matthew talk to her and the other girl. I forgot the other girl's name. When Matthew like gave them the same play by play. And that's hilarious. Matthew's insane. Matthew was caught though. Let's talk about it. And guess who knows? AD, because she went out with him. She said 2-ish times. Now, for some reason, we're supposed to make it seem like Clay's upset about that. And I want to be like, Clay, you have no bearing to be upset about that. This is not your wife. You made that perfectly clear on national television, my babe. So I don't understand why she had to be like, sorry. I would have been like, oh yeah, 4 times. He made me chicken and rice. Now, when she said chicken and rice, I had 1 billion questions. You can't just say chicken and rice, because chicken and rice to me is like, is that supposed to be bad and bland? Because that can be. But if it's like, I don't know, if it's like grilled citrus lime chicken and like a Spanish rice, that sounds great. If it's a za'atar chicken, Lebanese, or a chicken shawarma, kind of like, or like that kind of thing with like rice with a little like vermicelli, that's very yummy. A little cinnamon, and the butter on the rice, like that sounds very yummy. Like, is it like kind of like a Parmesan rice and like a garlic or lemon chicken? Is it? There's so many possibilities, and it's a little vague. But she made it seem like the chicken and rice was not flavorful. And I couldn't tell if it was like yeah, I don't know. Just the whole situation wasn't flavorful. Um, so Kwame and Chelsea were there. Chelsea loves that pink. Chelsea's a casting director now for the whole show, and they just travel around. Kwame just kept making like this like really funny, overly smiley face that was like giving great eyes, but it's like he told himself, you can make any kind of upper eye face as long as you keep the smile. Because it's like so he doesn't look too assholey or not that he would, but like in the sense of like it's such a great secret of like okay, because you just kind of look like you're enjoying everything instead of being like what, all right buddy, you look like a bitch, like me, I would look like a bitch. So yeah, basically Jessica, Micah, and Izzy are going on perfect match. Now what do you think of AD's dress? There's a couple of things they never talked about. They barely talked about Brittany and Kenneth. They definitely didn't talk about they just made it seem like they're best friends now, like, in one way and not the other way. So, um, they never talked about AD being overly sexualized by everyone in the cast and how problematic that could be, which made me really, really sad. At the same time, AD looked gorgeous in this dress and it was see-through. And I bring this up because because it's see-through, she's wearing these nipple clips, but nipple things, they look like baloney areolas. And now I'm sexualizing her body again. But I thought I was looking at her breast, but why? But she wore a dress that looked naked on. It looked like she was topless on in the show. Isn't that funny too? She's allowed to because she's a gorgeous girl. So she had to know that it looked like topless titties. It gave this same effect that kind of like, well, you could see yeah, and she's a beautiful woman, unbelievably beautiful woman. And Jessica, as Jimmy would say, I don't got to tell you, you're stunning. Cut right to Chelsea's face. I mean, they're horrible for that. They're horrible. Okay, let's jump ship. The single life. Chantel gets like a last minute date hurrah with her boo. And you know what? He's really hot. He's really hot. He makes me want to like travel this summer. He makes me want to go on sex tourism. No, I'm just kidding. But he's incredibly attractive. And I don't know if I believe this situation for him and her, but I will tell you that he's like, yeah, I'm gonna pick you up. Not gonna tell you a thing. She's like, okay, cool. Say less. I'll wear an Herve Leger purple bandage dress. He's like, great. Takes her to a football field. He's like, let me tell you about my favorite thing in the whole world, this sport. She's like, in these heels? They have a boring conversation. And then he surprises her at the end and her friends freak out. I don't know. Just this whole season felt so fake for her and so like inauthentic, and her personality is not the greatest. And her friends, for some reason, I mean, I know, I guess they just invested a lot in her storyline, and so people care, but do people like, I wonder, yeah, I wonder what the ratings are for Chantel without Pedro. Because and maybe that's why we need everyone like her mom and stuff like that. Like, I'll tell you this right now. There's Her mom is coming to the tell-all, and instantly she electrifies her storyline. Anyway, Bliss, that's her name. Going back, thank you. Let's look down from Love is Blind. So then let's move on. So Debbie is packing up, and Ruben is going to take her to the airport. She has her conversation with Julian where she says that Julian made her look bad. And he's like, treating her like a bad baby, and when is he going to forgive her for the mistakes that she not only has made but can make, because she's a grown ass woman who can make mistakes and no one's perfect. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's so interesting. Cops have a whole situation where, like, sometimes they can be overly critical of someone in their down moments as if they're perfect people when no one's perfect. Do you know what I'm saying? I can only imagine what Julian has been like in romantic relationships. I'm actually impressed that there are no scorned lovers in his past that have come up, you know? It's funny for how no one's perfect, but cops, because you literally are being paid by people to protect and serve and, like, give us a sense of safety and law and order, you should be people that are held to a higher standard. So often, though, we're not getting those kind of people. We're getting shitty people. Not all the time, but, like, so often it feels like we're getting people who are, like, not being empathetic or strong in their own lives, and then, like, not definitely not giving that to other people that they either don't understand or, like, have, like, ignorant or fears from. Sometimes you see really beautiful, empathetic, sensitive cops. And sometimes you see cops that, like, are in a different altered state of, like, their own power over people. And, like, the God complex that happens to surgeons, like, there obviously is a complex of, like, maintaining and keeping law and order. And then also having seen a lot kind of then hardens you to certain things, like, I know what it's like to be a server and size up tables because of previous experience of what I think this experience could be like from what I've feel like I've seen in the past, and how that might change my behavior going up to a table uh that I'm about to serve. It's a hard kind of meditative, almost like Buddha-esque task to come to each situation with, like, an open heart and mind, a certain amount of compassion and grace for the nuanced changes that could be happening so that you can pick up on them and give each situation appropriate care. The amount of, like, mental service and mental health that need to be provided across the board, not only to, like, citizens that, like, are in, like, criminal situations, or in situations that police come to, but for, like, the law and people that in fire and, like, paramedics, the people that serve us in those capacities. I think that when we talk, when I think of, like, reform, I think of, like, how we could change and reevaluate the infrastructure of things in order to make this possible. But it requires belief that that people in charge will use money appropriately and effectively for these things, and not, fuck us over. It's just so hard, right? Anyway, and, like, that's why politics are just can be annoying. Anyway, why am I talking about this? But well, anyway, the Debbie Rubin thing, I don't know what to tell you. I love her. I think I'm happy that she's on. I think that I feel like across the board, I want someone on Single Life to be dating multiple people or working through it. So I like Tyree's storyline. We got to see Tyree, like, go on a trip, but it's not like he's gonna have, like, his, Chanel Chantel sandals. He's gonna be there with authentic people in his life, not people who are, like, there to do his hair and makeup, but, like, his brothers. And he's going to meet different people, and there's gonna be authentic conversations, and, like, whether they work out or not. Spoiler alert, no. But, like, That seems like a single life. John shouldn't be on the show, honey. He's not single. This whole time he's been with this person. He's not single. It almost feels like Debbie has the entire time been with Ruben. Now I know she went on that one date before where she like over explained her situation in Morocco. And I guess that was why she then didn't want to say anything to Ruben about Morocco. But at the same time, it's like only give us two. There's a whole season. Why not give us three? Three is the charm. Comedy in threes. Three is a magic number. You need to give us more. Like Natalie, who we'll talk about. Natalie's the exception because I'm so happy that she's on the show. But she's been dating Josh the whole time, and now we're gonna get someone else. I guess she's technically single, specifically how Josh treats her, LOL. And Mike, LOL. But like don't you want to see people date? Like if you're going to be on Single Life, you get to be like a charming personality. You're single. Maybe you have issues like Darcy, like whatever, she's not single now, but like maybe we get to see you work on them. Maybe we see you going to therapy. Maybe we see like you talk to someone. Maybe you go on, yeah, like I love watching people go on speed datings. I love people, like swiping. I love people being set up through a matchmaker. I love people going and doing a sport or going to a museum or going to a fair or something. I know maybe that's just a lot of they can't get the rights for that, but they could set up like a little like pickleball tournament, honey. I'm not quite sure. I like the idea of putting people in these situations that we already know, watching them like meet someone, maybe not, and it's hard to get people to sign off on their forms, but maybe if you could just like give us like a big bounty of people. And if they go on 3 dates and you show us like the confessional of one after, like, and I think it's better than anything that's like fake. Let's get into Natalie and Mike. So Natalie drives Natalie drives like the smallest car, honey, and you know, Natalie's mom not only brought over herself from Ukraine, but she's bringing Mike down from Squim to Natalie through the good grace of the fact that she loves Mike and she just like will. Sometimes I think, is there moments where like, does Natalie's mom call Mike every week and for like 10 minutes just talks to him in like Ukrainian, like on the phone. And then he just is like, okay, mama, bye. And she's like, it's supposed to be bye bye, whatever, God bless. I don't know. But the crux is this. She brings him to a little park in the smallest car possible. I can't believe he's in it. After dropping her mom off. And from the start of this day, it feels like maybe like 2, and then it proceeds into the night, honey. And Natalie is going in hot because one thing about Natalie that we know, and we love her for it, is that Natalie drinks the Natalie Kool-Aid of Natalie being the best. And I do think that what she says is true. She remembers viscerally, and I'm sure she thinks about it a lot in comparison to others, the way that Mike looked at her. And it was not like, I want to F you like Josh does, but with a certain amount of admiration that he couldn't believe the sight of her. And she, I feel like, probably masturbates to that thought every night. But she thinks that she has a power over him and that if needed, she could get him back. And it's incredibly probably important too. It's a narcissist because he is a source for her, like, so to know that at any time she still has access to him is like what she needs to feel okay. And she's not been feeling okay. So she lays it in. Mike, can I come back and put a baby in me? And he's like, no, absolutely not. He's like, how's Josh? He's like, absolutely not. He never brings up his woman. She asks if he's dating anyone. He says no. We're like, yes. But he's like, I'm not your backup plan. You did this. You moved here. She's like, moo, moo. She's so sad. He's like, "You chose this life, honey." She's like, "Long Beach." It's funny because Natalie actually, I lied. I think that she didn't never said she was gonna go back to Washington. She wanted, I think 100%. Natalie wants Mike to move here and make a life with her here. And I don't think she understands why he won't. Because I think that Natalie thinks, "Well, be famous people here in a better in a place I want to be with famous people." She hates Bo, she hates Squim, and she does not understand why her beauty doesn't give her ultimate power over him so that whatever she says is it. She doesn't get why. Mike, through the good grace of having a backbone and self-confidence and not hating himself, thankfully, is like double hell to the no. Natalie blew it with Mike. She didn't give him time to financially recover after arriving from Ukraine. After she left, Mike eventually got an apartment in Seattle. She would have had a country cottage and a big city apartment. She knew he was a laborer. He never claimed to be independently wealthy. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to seeing Karen. She seems a big arrogant. Me too. I mean, but no, I actually am looking forward to her because because I think that, and because I know what you're saying because she is. She is. Yeah, but you'll see. I think the tell all for Single Life is because there's such a cast of characters. They're all charactered up. They have their character juice, honey. Like remember how whenever you would watch Toddlers and Tiaras, it's like a specific reference. Like, what was it? One of them would just like get pixie sticks, like children crack right before. She'd be like, "You want pixie sticks?" She's like, "Yeah, yeah, I want my pixie sticks." It's like I feel like they all have their little character pixie sticks they take, honey, like they right before they go on. So Um, yeah, like Natalie says a bunch of crazy things. One part that she says is like she was going over like why things didn't work with Mike, and she actually said COVID. She was like, "It was COVID," and I was like, "COVID? COVID? You think that's one of the reasons why?" That's crazy. Um, I've always had a soft spot for Mike, so I'm glad he stood up for himself and told her no. But I kind of wish he would also was like, yes, I see what you're saying. But I kind of wish he was like, yeah, I'm dating someone like this, like brown haired girl. I keep posting her in heavy filters on my Instagram. You haven't seen her? No one sent you his DM of her? Um, it's so funny because he doesn't say that he's with someone. He goes, no, I'm not. I just want to move on. And she's like, move on to who? Perfect timing to be like brown haired girl from my Instagram, but he doesn't. Mama loves you. I care for you. Besides, Mike, you don't divorce family. Now, ESL, obviously for her. So just side note. But the truth of the matter is, I mean, you definitely divorce family. You definitely divorce family. What feels like, 20 minutes ago, told you all the divorces in my family. You divorce family. When they're toxic narcissists who use you as a source, who you mean nothing to them, but how they feel, what comfort you provide to them, you absolutely divorce them from your life so that you can use that energy, and specifically if it's family that has been there for a long time, to recoup and recover and heal for the rest of your days what has been taken from you. Forsies, shorsies. Anyway, uh, so yeah, my loves, that's really it. I mean, with them, we can, I mean, yeah, I just don't care so much about season 10, the tell all, but I guess it was the tell all part two. Do you guys care about it? I can't, like, I was like, going through it, just even saying the names, like, I just don't care. I will tell you specifically, I promise my loves, The Single Life Tell All Part 1 is so much already better in a billion ways than the 5 cents they spent on Tell All Part 1 and 2 of season 10. I just feel like they knew they had nothing because 3 couples barely talked, and there was, like, so much problems with the other people. And Jasmine and Gino, I are now my new Angela and Michael of, like, "Give us a fucking break from them. I cannot hear their voice right now, please." And we've just now we are gonna have them, like, they go right into HEA, and it's like, it's a lot. Um, do you think it's because she wouldn't get vaxxed or had some crazy opinions about the whole thing? I don't know who you're talking about. Who? Oh, sorry, I should have looked down when you said it. Who? It's crazy opinions. I don't know what you're talking about. But you'll tell me. So yeah, that's what we have there on the docket. I try to watch a little bit of a Netflix show, Netflix docu-series about kids that were like carted off to military style boarding schools, like how Paris Hilton was at the Provo. Sounds really traumatic. There's a part of my life right now that I don't know if I can deal with trauma of there's a lot happening, and so I like really just want to disconnect and do nothing. Oh, Natalie, that she wouldn't get vaxxed? Honey, I don't think that Mike would get vaxxed. Mike is not a vaxxer. Is he's an anti I mean, I know, I can't imagine that's it. No, Jesse, he's very conservative, you know? So I don't think that would be it. But maybe she did wanna get that? I don't know. That's it. I see what you're saying, like, the policies. I don't know. She moved to Florida. He was in Washington. He's he reads so conservative, I can't imagine that he was like, "You need to get vaccinated." But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. There's so many it's so interesting because, like, if I was gonna, like, use the word conservative and I was gonna use the word liberal and I was gonna, like, talk about vaccinations, I've talked about this before, and, like, body autonomy, there are so many fucked up gray lines because if you're like a conservative person in the trope of right now to 24, you might be like, I didn't want to get the jab. And you also might be like, no, let's not kill the babies. That's because that's like things that, more right wing belief systems believe in. But the truth of the matter is, if you're like, we shouldn't force people to do anything, then they shouldn't have to give birth and they shouldn't, obviously have to, no, I mean, obviously never be forced to have abortions. Um, and they should be able to like decide if they want to be vaccinated. Now, that doesn't mean that corporations, private situations can then be like, well, we want people vaccinated, whatever it is. But, it's just like, it's hard to, yeah, I make mistakes too. I shouldn't assume that Mike is an anti vax because of his other, what feels like political things he shared. I don't know. All right, my loves. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter sesh today. I'm going to. I have some, fun and exciting things for the rest of my day, and I have to get on top of that. But I'm so thankful that you've spent some time with me. Have you thought about liking this video, giving this video a little thumbs up? Have you thought about it? I'd love it. Um, Other than that, we're going to do our little breath, my love, and like talk about breath again. Those Santa Ana winds are just. Has anyone heard them? Has any? Can you hear the bell? Anyway. I'm reminding myself and reminding you that the feelings and thoughts are just passing through like the wind, and the sky with clouds looks different every moment. And then you can't assign a certain amount of importance to one thing because we are ever changing. The only constant is change. Even though we like our rituals, even though we like that, you can sort of have to like find your balance and grace in both. Is why grounding rituals and things that we do can be really satisfying. So find your ways in which you can kind of like appreciate feelings and thoughts being not foundational parts of our mind, but in fact, like clouds in the skyscape, and the Santa Ana winds on a windy day blows them out so super quickly. And at the same time, in a world that can feel like there's a lot happening, finding like a little like spaces that reset yourself. I mean, in a small, dumb way, like the 15-minute thing of cleaning up your space before you go to bed, or before you kind of like turn into your nighttime routine, maybe before you watch TV, that kind of like act of like countertops getting all cleaned, like a freshness in the air, whatever you can to like physically reset yourself. That kind of work is your constant. How you treat yourself, what your day looks like, how you set yourself up, how you prepare for yourself. And then everything else, I'm not quite sure about. And then, all we can do is take care of ourselves and each other and stand up for what you believe and make art when you can. And I love you guys so much. And I wish you the best day. Happy St. Patrick's Day this weekend. All right. Don't drink too much. Be careful. Uber or do whatever you need to do, or don't drink. Eat the green eggs. Eat the green eggs and ham. All right, babes. Bye.